HabBits University presents The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, a synopsis, Part 1. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today I want to share with you a synopsis of the groundbreaking book written by Dr. Stephen Covey called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Since the book was written, no other business or self-help book has sold more copies. That makes it kind of a big deal. One of the reasons for the book's success is its focus. Most of the business books written today focus on what's called the personality ethic. Things like public image, social interactions, making friends, influencing others, etc. The focus is on image. Dr. Covey's book focuses on what's called the character ethic. Things like integrity, humility, courage, honesty, patience, modesty, work ethic, and so on. The focus is not on image. The focus is on how to be. Of course, there's an important need for the personality ethic, but it must be rooted in the character ethic. Think of a plant. Without strong roots, the plant might look good for a while, but ultimately will not be healthy and over time will eventually die off. A strong personality ethic without the strong roots of a character ethic will ultimately look fake, manipulative, and unappealing. It is this character ethic that produces long-term success. For example, the personality ethic is what allows a TM to convert a dealer over to HabBits. But it's the character ethic that keeps that dealer buying for the next 20 years. Make sense? Okay, so let's jump into the 7 habits and explore how they might be able to help you be the very best you can be. Habit number 1 is be proactive. Dr. Covey identifies what he calls the circle of concern and the circle of influence. The circle of concern are all the things that you may be concerned about but have no control over. These things could include the weather, politics, the economy, other people's opinions, other people's actions, other people's mistakes, just to name a few. The circle of influence, on the other hand, contains all of the things that you can control, such as your own attitude, your level of motivation, your habits, and so on. With that said, there are 2 ways that you can approach life. You can be reactive or you can be proactive. Reactive people tend to focus on and complain about things outside of their control, and they allow these things to dictate their performance, their motivation, and their attitude. Proactive people realize that it's their own decisions that control their destiny. They don't waste time complaining about things that they can't control. Instead, they proactively take action on the things that they can. Here's an example of how a proactive and a reactive person responds to the same situation. 2 CSRs work for the same manager. They both receive a subpar performance appraisal. The reactive person blames their manager, talks behind his or her back, and winds up being a disgruntled employee. The proactive person takes ownership by working to improve their performance so that they can get a better performance appraisal next time. See the difference? So, will you act or be acted upon? Will you be proactive or will you be reactive? Habit number 2 is begin with the end in mind. All things are created twice, first in your mind and then in reality. Beginning with the end in mind is identifying what you really want out of life, your job, and your relationships. It's kind of a personal mission statement, if you will. Sounds sort of sappy, I know, but it's very important nonetheless. Some people seem to have a very definite sense of what they want to do and who they want to be. They've thought it through and have created a game plan in their mind, while others sort of meander aimlessly and hope it all works out in the end. Let me create an analogy. Imagine your life as a ladder leaning up against a wall. Many people start up that ladder and realize, oh crap, my ladder's up against the wrong wall. For everything you do, you need to figure out your destination first. Only then can you ensure that your ladder is up against the correct wall. You weren't put on this earth to just wake up, go to work, pay bills, and then die. Your life has a purpose. If you figure out what your purpose is, you have begun with the end in mind. Not only are you then positioned to climb higher on the ladder, but more importantly, you're happier because you're working every day to live out your life's personal mission statement. Habit number 3 is put first things first. Putting first things first is turning your personal mission statement into reality. This is where you examine your day-to-day habits and routines. Ask yourself, what's the most important thing to do right now? I'm pretty sure the answer is not watch TV, check Facebook, or drink beer. Not that that's a bad thing. The most important thing to do right now is probably more focused on work, family, health, faith, and other significant matters. So why do we spend so much time on all these throwaway activities anyway? It's time to question your habits and your routines that involve trivialities and work to reduce or eliminate them altogether. To help with this, Dr. Covey developed a pretty cool quad chart that helps us categorize things by urgency and importance. While time doesn't allow us to go into the quad chart in detail, understand the need to plan your time so that you spend a significant portion of that time in quadrant 2, which is doing things that are important but not yet urgent. If you find yourself spending too much time in other quadrants, you are likely reacting to crises, dealing with low-impact busy work, or delving into time wasters. So let's prioritize our day, week, month, and year to put first things first. Okay, so these first 3 habits are about what Dr. Covey calls self-mastery. How to move from dependence, which is needing others on a daily basis to be effective, to independence, which is self-reliance on a daily basis. In part 2, we'll explore habits 4 through 7, which focus on interdependence. How independent people think in terms of we and team. It's about becoming more other-centered and less self-centered, and we'll cover those next time. Until then, be cool, stay tuned, talk to you soon.